On June 6th, 2024, we rest under a new moon in Gemini, and I am so grateful to be sharing 8 journaling prompts directly inspired by the energetic themes surrounding this Gemini new moon, partly because your girl is a Gemini moon. And this is one of those lunations that is really encouraging us to consciously take the seat of the observer. You may have noticed yourself being more observant, being a bit more contemplative, and really feeling inspired to move forward more intentionally, move forward more wisely, and be a lot more mindful of your words, of your thoughts, of your actions. So these 8 journaling prompts are intending to have you walk away feeling a lot more comfortable, confident, and clear-minded and clear-hearted as to how exactly you can be moving forward in this intentional, conscious, mindful way. So without further ado, let's get into these 8 journaling prompts for the Gemini new moon. How would I describe the process and influences of my decision making? Let's begin this journaling session under this Gemini new moon by observing our decision making process and what influences our decision making. The truth is that one of the greatest powers we have been blessed with is the power of choice, is the power of free will. Now, getting into that is a whole other conversation that I'll probably get into in a future podcast episode. But for now, let's acknowledge the fact and the truth that we have the freedom to choose. Every single day, in every moment, there are so many choices we are free to make. And it's really on us to make the most out of that power, out of that blessing, by being a lot more conscious of our decision-making process and what influences our decision-making. So if this is something that you haven't really taken the time to contemplate, this is your opportunity to take the time to contemplate that. What is your decision-making process? What influences your decision-making? And if you would like to take this as an opportunity to set your intentions as to moving forward, this is going to be my process for decision-making, and these are going to be the main influences I'm going to be mindful of when making decisions. Please feel free to do so. What understandings am I gaining in regards to how my past decisions have brought me here? And by here, I mean in your current environment, in your current situation, in your current state of being. You may have found yourself recently, or you may be finding yourself soon to be gaining deeper and deeper understandings as to why you're here, as to what decisions brought you here, as to what actions have contributed to where you are now, who you are now. And these understandings are so awesome. Like I am so encouraging of being proud of yourself for allowing yourself to arrive to these understandings, because sometimes some of these understandings can be a bit uncomfortable. They can be a bit of a reality check, like, oh my gosh, like these decisions that I made, these actions that I took contributed to me being in this not so ideal situation. But as we take this seat of the observer and really allow ourselves to be willing to gain these understandings, I'm very encouraging of us practicing self-compassion in this contemplation and in these understandings. But this is a really beautiful new moon for us to be journaling about this and to really be integrating these understandings because they really are so important. What things have I recently really been thinking through? Thinking things through is what's in right now, right? Like I said, this Gemini new moon is really inspiring us to be a lot more mindful. We're not just out here just making decisions, making choices without really thinking things through. We are gaining the awareness that taking the time to think things through is worth our time and energy, is a good investment, right? So what things have you recently really been thinking through? And this could most likely be something that is in relation to an experience that you've noticed has been reoccurring, a reoccurring pattern in your life where you're like, okay, I went through this in the past. I can see myself potentially going through this again, but this time around, I'm gonna think things through. So what have those things been for you? What is currently stimulating contemplation and learning for me? I love this prompt, and I think in large part it's because I am such a lover of contemplation. I'm such a lover of learning, and it could be the Gemini moon in me, but this is such a wonderful season for us to be stimulating contemplation upon ourselves, stimulating learning upon ourselves in a very conscious, active, uplifting kind of way, right? With the intention to expand, with the intention to grow, with the intention to really be moving in the direction towards our higher potentials. So what has currently been stimulating contemplation for you? What has currently really been stimulating learning for you? And I think the collective right now really has been confronted with a lot of this kind of stimulation that's out of our control. And it's really for our benefit because we really are being called right now as a collective to be contemplating, to be learning, right, from collective experiences and also from our own individual experiences. So this really is such a prime theme right now. How is my relationship and my awareness with words changing? How is your relationship with words changing? How is your awareness with words changing? Words are so powerful, and I'm really grateful that we are growing more and more consciously aware of the power of words, of the words that we speak, and of the words that we think. So if you have arrived to this expanding conscious awareness, be so proud of yourself because it's one of the most significant awakenings each of us can be arriving to. So how has your relationship with words been changing, right? How has your awareness of words changed? What have you learned about words? How has this learning caused you to change your relationship with words? Have you found yourself being more quiet with the intention to be more intentional when you are speaking? Have you found yourself really taking the seat of the observer a lot more often in your life and observing your thoughts more frequently than ever before? What has this relationship with words looked like for you, and how has it been changing? In what ways am I communicating in new ways? To continue on to this theme of our relationship with words, let's expand on how our communications have been experiencing a rebirth of sorts, right? How have you been communicating in new ways? Communicating to yourself, communicating to your family, to your friends, to your loved ones, to your partner, communicating to spirit, right? Communicating to your environment, communicating to your ancestors. Really be expansive when contemplating your communications, right? How have the ways in which you have been communicating been changing, right? What are the ways in which your communication style has changed? How have you been communicating yourself in new ways? And be as detailed and specific as you so desire to be with this prompt. And perhaps even take it a little further by letting yourself know why you are really appreciating and enjoying this new way that you are communicating, why you feel it is serving your highest good, why you feel it is benefiting you and the recipient of your communications. In what new ways have I been investing in my mind? I love this prompt. And if you listen to this prompt and you're like, girl, I'm gonna keep it real, I have not been investing in my mind. In fact, with all of these prompts that you just shared, I really have not felt like I've resonated with it, because I haven't felt like I've really been moving intentionally, mindfully, wisely, consciously. I feel like I bring this up in every journaling prompt related video, but don't just count yourself out of the prompt because you don't feel like who you've been resonates with the prompt that I'm offering, right? Every now moment is your opportunity to move forward differently. So if you hear a prompt and you're like, oh my God, I don't resonate with this, I don't relate to this, like I can't speak to this because this isn't who I have been, see this as an opportunity of like, okay, I feel inspired by this prompt. I feel called by this prompt to move forward differently, right? And use the prompt as an opportunity to set those intentions. So for example, with this prompt, you can set the intentions of how you are going to be investing in your mind, right? And there's so many different ways that we can be investing in our mind. It can be tangible ways, right? Such as reading books, right? Learning auditorily, visually, kinesthetically, hands-on learning. It can be through conversations. It can be through being a bit more choosy of who we are in relationship with, because our relationships really do affect our mind. Really, everything affects our mind, right? So what are the ways, what are the perhaps new ways that you have been investing in your mind? And for those of you that are really approaching this from an intention setting perspective, if you will, what are the new ways you are going to be investing in your mind moving forward from this Gemini New Moon? What truths do I feel I am coming into greater and greater alignment with? What are the truths that you feel you have really been aligning with, you have really been becoming intimate with, you have really been confronted with, you have really been embracing, right? And these could be truths about yourself, truths about other people, truths about society, culture, the collective as a whole, this world, right? Other dimensions, your history. So many truths that so many of us, I feel, have really been becoming aware of. And I really want us to hold this space to journal about the truths that we feel personally we have been coming into greater and greater alignment with. And I think there's a lot to be said about the kinds of truths that the divine, that all the cosmos, that God, that source, that the universe, however it is that you want to name the nameless, right? I feel like there's a lot to be said about the kinds of truths that we are being led to align with, right? Like there's a reason why we're aligning with certain truths at the time that we are aligning with them, right? So also take a moment to observe that after you journal what you journal. Like take a moment to observe the kinds of truths that you're aligning with and the timing of which you're aligning with them, and contemplate that for a bit. But what truths do you feel, my friend, that you have been coming into greater and greater alignment with? And that, my friends, are the 8 journaling prompts directly inspired by the new moon in Gemini taking place on June 6, 2024. Can't believe we're already in the month of June. But here we are, and here you are. Thank you so much for being here, for receiving this offering of mine, for bringing this video and this conversation into your precious present moment. I truly am so grateful for you, so grateful to connect with you and to have you as a part of this community. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss out on any of my videos and that you join in on this beautiful growing community. I pray that you have the most clarifying, uplifting, inspiring, expansive new moon, and that these prompts really assisted you. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.